Blast Cone is there, the smite slows him down, but the all-out gets him out of harm's way, but the Wild Growth is back up and available, and against the wall, Genax says enough.
Yeah, my bot.
Flashes over the wall, Nuck teleported in, but a Blast Cone interrupted! Nuck again!
Okay, I'm dead. What?
Oh, I said, let's fight that. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Chill. I will die. I can't join him.
The first seed from the LFL puts themselves back on top as BDS Academy closes out the third game of this best of 5 series. And my oh my, it feels like we're just gonna keep saying dominant again.
Yeah, but it was much closer in that early stage and for a huge amount of this as well. So even though it was dominant by the end of it, it felt like it was a hard-fought path for BDSA to get there. And I think there was definitely in the beginning a lot of that kind of dominance from BDS Academy where they had that control. They were cross-mapping well, but it kind of felt like when we got to that mid-game, just 1 or 2 mistakes really brought the game back for Vitality.Bee.
Yeah, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Vitality.Bee for the way they managed team fights in the mid-game, because after that first Herald fight, or the one Herald fight, I thought it was doomed. I thought it was over. BDSA were playing really well, but Vitality.Bee managed to find a couple of these picks. They managed to find a few times when BDSA were just a little overextended.
And the big thing that I want to try and focus on here is how BDS Academy have set up in their side lanes to try and make things a little bit easier for themselves. They're a bit late because Skewmon went for a reset. You also see FLICKR going for a reset just coming out of base, but they're able to delay and slow the pace of this take coming through from Vitality.Bee enough that they can then get FLICKR back onto that bottom side. They push Vitality.Bee out with these lanes not really in the favor of Vitality.Bee. They don't feel comfortable fully trying to position themselves in towards Herald, but by the time they do, Skewmon is getting a ton of poke down on this bottom side, and you've got FLICKR now on bot turret, and top turret's gone as well.
And I think one of the main problems with Vitality.Bee here is you just have to make a decision. You just have to snap call. If we're going on Paris, we're actually going on Paris. We flash in, we don't have the Magnet Storm here, but we use that Rel engage to really lock him down, because every time you look for that little bit of poke, well, BDSA have that too. Skewmon puts some plants into the pit, and it becomes a lot harder for you to actually find purchase into one of those fights.
Yeah, something we said as well about BDS Academy is that if they are behind, they struggle to get back ahead. So it felt like Vitality was continuously pushing them, trying to put them on that back foot, but regardless of their attempt, it wasn't enough.
Well, the thing was, they got a really nice pick on Kutadui. Look, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. That definitely felt like he fat-fingered the R button when he was supposed to be going for the E, but in the grand scheme of things, it gave them that moment to get the comeback and a huge amount of get the lanes in their favor. And it came very, very close. And I think how close this fight, or this game was, really accumulated in that soul fight that we got to see, because that was absolute bedlam. I thought that fight ended 3 different ways from the get-go, and I didn't know who was going to come out on top.
Yeah, and you have to give Vitality.Bee a lot of credit for the way they start this fight off, because you can see Paris tries to engage. Chayak is able to get away. You have the Fate Sealed going in, but the stopwatch from Douglas prevents it, and the only person really getting chunked out is Nako. So after this point, you're like, whoa, BDSA are pretty low. They've already lost their mid lane. It's going to be a really difficult fight for them to navigate.
Yeah, but the problem was when Nako goes ahead here and tries to make the pick happen, BDS Academy respond really well. Skewmon still just using those plants as that little bit of poke. You get the extra kill coming through from the Kaisa. And here, Hextech Dragon's doing a bit of work onto BDS Academy. It got very sketchy, and especially with the kill going across, but Skewmon's able to get the snipe, and then Genax able to come back in over the wall. So you could see how close on multiple different occasions this fight was to breaking either way, and that for me was the game deciding fight.
Yeah, I totally agree. Alongside that, Genax having the Warmogs at that point, he actually started off a recurve bow, and we were like, oh, is he going to go Wit's End? Got the Giant's Belt, went for that Warmogs. It set himself up perfectly to regen and come back into the fight. And now we see Vitality.Bee in what was the final fight, basically, of the game, looking for that engage. The problem is, if you lock down one person, BDS have so many flank opportunities. They have the ability for Rika to dive in. Ketawi can stand back and just continually put out those Void Seekers.
And it's Rika that my eyes were on in this fight. The initial engage, forcing the early stopwatch from Douglas. Then he gets this final knock-up as well onto the Ziggs. He played this fight beautifully, and although it was Kutadui who picked up the quadra kill, I really think Rika had not only a standout fight, but a standout game as well. This man was so controlling and dominating the side lane. Phenomenal in the team fights, consistently getting key items or summoner spells or abilities blown as they went into these fights, and it just made the game so damn difficult for Vitality.Bee.
Yeah, and even when we're looking at Vitality.Bee, I think, again, we have to give them credit for how much effort they have put into this game and really trying to give BDSA a run for their money. But I think when we're looking at BDSA, the adaptability that we've seen from them based off of the previous game has been huge. We're seeing that this team growing over every single game we've had so far. And for their side of things, it's looking pretty good.
But this is the thing, right? For Vitality.Bee, when I look at them, I can see them trying to match what the game plan is from BDSA. It's, hey, we know they want to go for these early skirmishes. Let's try and find a way to fight on that bottom side. Didn't quite work out. Okay, cool. Let's go for this late game scaling like we saw in this game and hope that maybe we can take these fights in the mid game, punish a bit of over-aggression. And they nearly get it to work here, but they're just that little bit too short.
And I think part of that is when you try and match someone at something they're doing, they tend to have more practice than you at that thing. And BDSA here is showing they understand when to step back from a skirmish, when to step back from a fight. The Rift Hold is a great example. They were like, well, we could try and go 5 men up to the Rift Hold, or we can send Yone to bot side, we can have GenX continue pushing in top, and we get 2 towers out of it. Even if they'd lost the fight after that, it doesn't actually matter, because they've already got tower in top side, tower in bot side, and all Rift Herald's going to do is give you about half a turret worth of gold, right? So the net gain for BDSA off their macro play is just that slight step ahead of Vitality.Bee so far.
And I do think that's why we end up seeing like a huge amount of these guys.
Yeah, that's, we have a lot of stickers prepared this time around so that we don't actually have to peel them off. But yeah, just go for it.
We just
go crazy.
So GenX got R5 counterpick. He did use Gnar on it, which is kind of boring, but still.
Okay.
What else we got? We
wasn't a
definitely
vein,
had the first Baron. We've got
a wombo combo up here as well.
I mean, that was a great wombo combo in that
Quite
game.
a few.
Side lane kills post 15 minutes, definitely has
which is kind of their
happened.
special with the 1-3-1.
Yeah.
First dragon.
Where's first dragon?
It's right on the
Here
second
we are.
row.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Nice. What else
We
we
got
got?
Win went ahead at
They've one
15.
went ahead. Okay, we've run out of stickers.
I think we kind of...
I mean, that's also running out of,
we got
you
the
know.
Jin as well.
Yeah, where we've got 2 of these. We actually have a bingo, because Stumond and Paris
No
have had that
way.
3-man skirmish in game 1.
That is true.
Yep. I can't.
Okay.
I don't have
Oh
nails. There we
well,
are.
we could just pretend like we do.
Bingo!
Hey.
What
So
do I win?
what do we win?
Well,
I'm
that's
glad
for
the
social
crowd
media
cheered
to
for us.
decide,
I
yeah.
Can you guys cheer a little louder maybe so that we can be very proud of ourselves?
Yeah. That's very
Look,
important.
we are old when it comes
They
to the
might
League of
also be
Legends world,
cheering
so
for, you know,
bingo
the
feels
players
good for
coming.
us.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a bingo. You should be proud of yourselves. But
Good
I
job,
want
us.
to talk about that game that we're heading into now because we're looking at BDS Academy and they are literally on match point. They are 1 game away. They can taste that victory. And Vitality.Bee, you're laughing.
I'm sorry.
You've been here before.
It was a week ago. BDS are there. They're on match point. They're 1 win away.
But when we're looking at Vitality.Bee, that's the team that is here on the back foot. They need to bring it back, and it felt like when they were under that pressure after that first game, they were able to find it within themselves. They made some changes in that draft. They got the red side. So this time, how is that going to play out?
So I think I like the drafts that we've seen them come through in the last couple of games with. The problem that I'm having with them is that they're so focused on what BDSA are doing, they're not playing to their own game plan. We see them, hey, we've got a Ziggs. We can have this moment to cross map, go for this play, take first tower with the Ziggs, start to rotate them around the map, really open up the game. But instead, they're more worried about, oh, well, is BDSA going top? Do we need to cover top? And they're second guessing. Then at like, I think it was 11.5 minutes, they get GenX catches Naknako on that top side. It feels like they're so worried about what they're doing, they're not focusing on how their game plan can be successful. So I think it's just focus on what is our comp, how do we execute it, and how do we put ourselves in the best position, not put BDSA behind.
My expectation is we'll see, obviously, Vitality.Bee have gone over to the red side again. We're going to see a counterpick top side, and we're going to see it played around quite a lot, right? I just think if you're Vitality.Bee and you want to try and win this game, they don't often play through Naknako. I would love to see them do it here, because if you can get something like the Varus top, if you can get something like the Vayne top again and actually put resources into it, I think that's how you can shut BDSA down, because so far GenX has really had Naknako's number when it hasn't been a counterpick.
All right, well, I guess we're going to have to wait and find out because we're ready to head into the 4th game of the series between BDS Academy and Vitality.Bee with our casters, Hysterics, Aragon, and Broxa.
Yes, Broxa. Now, Medic, how much is the therapy bill going to be if this goes to a game 5? That's what I want to know. Because as the BDS ambassador, he's been through a tough time.
That was
right?
the angle, okay.
He's been through a tough time. You know, against G2, there was a lot of hope, obviously, at first. Then it was a classic BDS reverse sweep against them. Here, it's not a reverse sweep, it's a very different angle. But BDS have been clinical, and we have to admit, that last game showcased a lot of BDS's talents. But we've also seen in this series that Vitality.Bee are quite resilient. And we both, or all three of us really, have been impressed, I think, with the quality of this series.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people at home, the quality has been a lot better than they expected here as we go into Game 4 with Vitality.Bee choosing the red side and BDSA once again getting rid of some of those pesky, annoying pocket picks.
And I do think this last game was the most contested game of all of them in terms of gameplay. Something in an adaptation I'd like to see from BDSA, despite winning, is actually banning away that 6. I think it was so problematic in terms of ending the game that they had to rely on such a late Dragon Soul win condition.
Curious to see if Vitality.Bee are going to continue banning away the Israel like they did on 1-2 in the first 2 games. There it is indeed. And for BDSA in particular, last game, there was a Nila ban. Maybe that's going to make an appearance here as well.
Nila, Maokai, Vi, Rumble. These are the picks that I have my eye on. Misfortune as well. Rel has done actually kind of surprisingly bad this series, so maybe that isn't quite as high, but there are so many OP picks up and left available.
It's the mini meta in the series, isn't it? We've also seen, you know, that Alistar be an occurrence into it that for BDSA put them on the back edge. The Brom ban here, what does that show?
MF, Rel, in hard engage supports priority as well as blocking that ulti from MF. Great setup ban there.
Well, let's see the final ban from Vitality.Bee. I'm personally expecting a Rumble, something that Janex made a huge difference on earlier in this series. And it will most likely be first picked if they don't take it away right now.
But then you give up a Maokai, who I think is just by far and away the best jungler in the game right now. It sets up so much on the current meta. You could go Corki with Poke, you could go MF with huge wombo combo. That is not going to be locked in. That would be terrible. Yeah, for sure is Maokai here.
I mean, obviously, right now, we just hover and we think, use that time well. I love that you brought up the Maokai. I love also that we've also talked about the flexibility, sorry, not flexibility, but the effect of Rel. But it not being good, this is the honest answer.
So now you can go AP jungle. Brand is what they won with, but you can also go down the route of Ivan if you want to. Anti-tank in terms of picks as well. What do you think, Roxa?
Well, Douglas has been very, very good on Vi early in this tournament, something that would pair fantastically with the likes of a Rel. I would not be surprised to see them locking in a bit of hard engage of their own, but
back to this.
Here we go. Yeah. Back to comfort, back to Brand.
Lock in what you want on in game 4 rather. Make sure you got the comfort, and you could line it up with a Jhin if you want to. Lots of Poke. Corki, Yone is a great combo with the Maokai because you layer the ultimates as well. It's a fantastic duo.
I just love for both, though, we're already getting comfort. You know, for this game 4, Douglas had a rough semi-finals. So far in finals, I think he's been a performing member. And on this Brand again, versus Rika on the Yone, which Jen's last game, game 1, Rika's Yone has been pretty clean.
He's been a very, very dominating part of BDSA in particular. And now, with the Misfortune being locked in, we're seeing very, very, very strong team fighting from the side of BDSA. Now, Vitality.Bee most likely would be locking in the response here to the Misfortune.
Jhin
but
probably,
then again, Jobba has a champion Ocean, so you never really know.
Yeah, I think best answer objectively is the Jhin. No, is it one like, it's a flex Yasuo.
It's a flex, and
but
it's a classic.
Plays it.
It's a classic Vitality.Bee. When I labeled this team, I thought, what's the best one-word line that could perfectly encapsulate Vitality.Bee? Flex. And you've said it again. We know they both play it, and it's just so classic at this point.
The thing is, though, I just look at BDSA's comp and I'm terrified. That is such a meta and strong composition. You've got the best jungler in the game layered over with the AoE of the Misfortune, with the Braum ban. There's no real answer into that. I think they have such good setup to deal so much damage in this team fights.
I think Yasuo really is the perfect champion for Vitality.Bee with the way they've been playing. Go hard or go home style, full aggression, only one way and that's forward. And here for them, they're showcasing to us now that if they are to go out, they're going to go out with an absolute bang, ready to fight.
There's that 6-ban, something that was pesky for game number 3.
Yeah, they're not quite sure if it's Yasuo bot or Yasuo mid. It could definitely go to both of them. We know both of these players do play the champions, so they have to ban out bot laners as well as mid laners if they want to. I've seen a lot of Yasuo globally, and I've been very unimpressed because what usually ends up happening is the Yasuo goes in for the big burst, it doesn't finish off, and then the whole team fight is lost. So we'll have to see if Vitality.Bee can pull it off.
Well, pretty interesting situation here where Vitality.Bee can go in a lot of different directions with the Yasuo, like we already brought up in particular. Nila now being taken away. Many, many champions gone from the bot lane pool. Jhin, a champion we saw earlier this series, having a lot of success, now being locked in.
Can also be a top Yasuo. Am I cooking too much, Jen?
It depends. If there's a blind pick range champion like a Gnar or something like this, then it could be, but you just wouldn't line that into a flex Yasuo, right? It also is a potential flex for Gen X as well with the Yone. We've got to keep that in mind. This is cooking. It's a lot of cooking.
great,
I
isn't
do
it?
think it's just going to be mid lane though, right? You just have mid lane Yone and you're just going to blind pick a top laner here. Something like Cassante could be good.
Oh my god, we saw this in spring. Do you remember in spring, EMEA Masters, BDSA obviously could only get to semi-finals, but Paris would pull this out. This was his little pocket pick. Seeing this here on match point is a bit of ego, and I love it.
You think they're going to go Leona or something like this to set up the MFLD, but he says, no, I'm going to put my foot down. We're going to send it with Pyke and win the early game. Blind pick Kennen. What does Naknako have in store? There's so many potential answers into this. You could even send Yasuo top lane if he's feeling it. But this is the moment of truth. Naknako, what's he going to cook?
Kennen is ranged. It hits the same criteria. I see potential. Just depends on flavor here.
Usually it's Jace, stuff like this. Jace is really good into Kennen.
Yep.
It's really hard to counter, but it depends if Naknako's comfortable. He does like range jumps. Oh, Vayne again?
No.
No
Oh
way.
my god.
Vayne and Pyke. I didn't think we'd be seeing this today.
We're in for a crazy game 4 here. Both teams have cooked massively. One thing is certain in this game, we're gonna get a lot of fighting.
And also, I think it's gonna end pretty quick. This Pyke, it usually is a champion that falls off very, very hard. You have such a strong early game and laning phase and the ability to roam, but you really do fall off in terms of utility.
So we're saying snowball to hell, or just hell flat out?
You do have a backup plan of the huge wombo combo and the team fights and scaling late game for BDSA, but you do have the early bridge in the Pyke, which could fall off. On the other side, though, again, lots of AoE, the wombo combo with the Yasuo and the Rel, lots of AoE from the Brand as well, and the isolated scaling of Naknako on the Vayne, which we saw him pop off on.
Yeah, let's see what happens. One thing is certain, this Pyke is going to be a big key for BDSA. Paris has been like a Hulisang Jr. this series, and I'm looking forward to seeing which side the coin is going to land on this time around.
So relevant, Broxer, and I got a fun stat that our production has just sent to me. In his career, Paris is 6-0 on this Pyke. He is unmatched on it. He is undefeated on it. And he brings it out in a game 4 when BDSA, the first seed of LFL, are at match point. This team looking for their first title. You know, we talked about it, at least talked about it earlier on the broadcast. It was so upsetting for the BDS fans of the LEC when their team couldn't represent. They couldn't come to Munich. They couldn't go to Worlds. And here we are with BDS Academy, finding their merit when their main team did not. And in such a competitive series, it is BDSA who have brought out their macro game. As we talked about, as we expected, Vitality.Bee have snatched a game off, but they're going to go so much further to bring us to a game number 5. Otherwise, BDSA will be looking at their first EMEA Masters trophy. And for these 5 players as well, right into the heart of the spotlight for so many teams across the world. Skumon in a bit of trouble though, and this is the big start. We're getting the invade, and Skumon might be in trouble. A couple of autos, Naknako going to commit for it. He tumbles, but he dies in the end. A 1-for-1. Now it was first blood over to Naknako, but Skumon is going to be a little bit slower getting set up. End of the day, Vayne with the first blood ain't bad.
Yeah, Naknako managed to pick up the kill without using any of his summoners, while Skumon now having no flash in Maokai, meaning he's going to have much, much less, you know, pressure in the early game. Maokai is not that scary in terms of ganks without that flash.
Yeah, in terms of early game, Maokai really is just a flash W bot, isn't it? So.
Well, I'm going to go start paying Broxer for clairvoyancy, because what did you say? It's going to be a very quick game, or it's going to be very bloody. Well, and, I mean, we did start earlier than expected, but 2 kills by 1:30 to kick off the laning phase is exactly the direction you ordered.
I think these solo lanes are going to be so volatile. You've got a lore battle in the mid lane, and then up top side, you have no TP on Naknako. So if he ever gets chunked, that's a recall into missing a bunch of minions. So any kind of attention up top side, especially since you have so much point to click, I am really doubtful about this Vayne pick because all the AoE and the stuns. Regardless though, a bit of an invade. Ward spots him out.
Yeah, I'm liking this early Maokai invade here. Unfortunately for Skumon, his opposition was aware of it, dropped the wards, and now they're going to have to determine on Vitality's B sides how they want to respond. Are they going to look to pick off the Maokai in his jungle, or could Douglas potentially go for a counter invade on the other side? Vayne is in a great spot, getting that first blood, getting the advantage, and will be pushing in Kennen, so top prio will be a given.
Yeah, he will get prio top side, like you're saying. With that Vayne, he still has the exhaust to potentially win that fight in 2v2. But it's a map split, right, for BDSA. Now, the problem is there going to be trades heavy enough for a dive potentially down in bot side? And if he goes for a gank now, he's definitely spotted. Shayek should be able to back off here.
Yeah, both wards there. You can see Temporary ward up towards the top side as Genax might be in a bit of trouble. Exhaust is down, and with Night Hunter passive, he has to flash. The lane continues to be Nako favored.
Yeah, he wants to preserve his HP here. He flashes. I don't think he would have died, but he's scared of getting chunked into a dive on this slow push crash because Douglas is map splitting this. They're map splitting down bot side, so Douglas is up top.
And so far, the Maokai invade hasn't done too much. Both junglers have gone even at this point. Douglas looking for the dive, but he knows Skumon is responding. Question is if they dare to go for it regardless.
Here comes the Q flash.
It's a flash, amazing timing. Nako picks up the kill with a response from Skumon. He might have enough damage. No, Sapling is out of range. Nako's going to tumble on in. He's looking for the fleet. He doesn't get the movement speed off of Gromp, but Scrying doesn't give that either. The AoE dodged away. Douglas is out-kited, outplayed. Skumon, one more auto. Nako gets it as Reek is now into the thick of it. Wants a last kill. He's condemned away, but he burns eventually. A double kill as the blood. We were talking about it, and it's already hit 6 kills in it. Crazy movement from the brothers.
The TikTok Yone coming out with the insane combo. What an insane skirmish up there. Skumon having no flash yet still outplaying, waiting for his W cooldown to dodge out on the spells from the Brand and manage to find a win for BDSA.
What an incredible fight. Crazy skirmishing. Super impressive mechanics from both sides. But ultimately still an even game here with 6 kills at 4 minutes.
Because again, now there's a 500 gold lead on a 2-kill Yone mid for Rika as Chayak is running away. There is good damage here, but Chayak misses the Q. The Steel Temper's not there, and the poke, and rather I say the trade from Rika goes better in the end. Rika also has a red buff there too.
Yeah, red buff, doing huge work in those trades there. You see Pyke is actually moving up as well. That chunk might do work, but he does have the wind wall in 5 seconds. Could block out the Q. Paris.
It's annoying. He's looking for it. Where's that wind wall? The flash. Melee range with Ignite there. Halo Blades as well. Chayak running for his life, but he doesn't get anything. Double zoner down from Paris. Chayak is there as the response from Sten. And Douglas again on this Brand. Burns him alive. Rika runs for his life. Chayak is unharmed. And Douglas is feeling it.
You thought it was going to be a good play from the Pyke because of the 2 seconds on the wind wall, but in the end, Paris is left isolated. The collapse is huge from Sten, and they managed to find a collapse. Killing the Pyke early is massive.
Now 45 seconds for the Void Grubs to spawn. Pretty easy for both junglers to secure it. We're going to see Douglas quickly clearing his Raptors and his Crocs before probably looking for a recall into that objective. BDSA are going to have the bot prayer and could easily rotate up with the Pyke, or even potentially bring him Misfortune from base as well.
It's so volatile. It's so bloody. That roam mid countered, and again, this is like the game number 2. Douglas on this Brand. Very switched on when you consider that we came into today saying, oh, Skumon, LFL Finals MVP. This guy is too good to be in EMEA Masters. Douglas was originally in the LEC. Douglas was adapting to the main Vitality roster, and he started developing in front of our eyes. Here in this series, you talk about development, I think Douglas, again, stepping up to the plate is a big deal.
Yeah, hearing a certain Kazi interview, he said, you know, the best thing about Douglas is he's super decisive. He will make these plays, he will make these dives, you know, these counter jungles. He will instantly choose a decision, and you can see it right here.
Well, getting out of harm's way before Genax looks for the engage. Now, he doesn't have level 6, but that's a big wave up topside as Nako level 6 himself moves with that set priority onto Grubs.
And we're going to be seeing the Yasuo slowly moving up.
Yeah.
Kidui rotating into the, you know, jungle, hesitating, thinking about moving, but at the end of the day, stays. Now you can see him, he's moving back and forth, unsure if he should come all the way up to the Herald, because Vitality.Bee are giving it up. Heads back to bot lane, Rika goes mid, and that was a really good usage of the bot prior we saw earlier from BDSA to make sure that Vitality doesn't even consist.
Yeah, Vitality.Bee deciding, you know, it's a bit too hard to land the combo with the Rel and the Yasuo ultimate in that fight. Yasuo a little bit too disconnected from the fight versus all the flashes. So, gonna pull back and give over those Grubs.
This is sneaky. I'm looking top because Sten with a Hex Flash. What's he engage like? Just to force Genax back, but Sender's now spotted out, and they know that that support ain't in the right lane. Maybe that's a free dragon with the information over to BDSA.
And we're seeing the Vayne pick pay off once again. 3 kills secured for Nako. 1.2k gold up. And once again, more aggression coming out of BDSA. I'm really liking the proactiveness we're seeing from Paris and Skumon in this game. And of course, continuing to play aggressive around bot makes a lot of sense for them with Kidui picking up a kill level 1 and having pressure.
Skewer, good.
but onto the gauge support. He's in a bit of trouble. That cue from Skumon was so good. Man, a disengage and put me in place as well. Sten caught out by Rika. Okay, Skumon, I take it back, brother. I get why you're so good.
Skumon with the monster Q, interrupting the rel leap, stopping the engage just when you think that Vitality.Bee are going to turn around the play on the pick on Douglas. Take a look here, right at this Maokai Q as it happens.
And the fight starts out perfectly with Power sniping Douglas with the hook. Great follow-up from Kidui on the Misfortune as well, and suddenly nothing Sten can do. Caught between 4 members of BDSA who are now having 1,000 gold lead. Very, very fit 80 carry and mid laner that they can easily play around.
And that was the price of trying to make a play topside to Naknako. Yep. You saw Sten was up top for so long that BDSA decided, you know what, we're going to invade with this time. And Sten is going to be late, so we just invade the entirety of the bot side. And it pays off.
And it pays off because it gives Rika another kill as well. Paris looking for the bone skewer. Yoppa is out of range. That kill over to the Yone. I mean, Rika, we were already setting up how good he's been this series on this pick. He's 3-0 early into the game. He's got almost a 1k gold lead. Yes, the Vayne top is ahead, but Rika once again set up bot untouched because this Misfortune has had a safe laning phase. BDS in this early game, they're still up in a little bit of gold, and we can see why.
And it just feels like a whole new Rika, but the engagement through.
Chayak does flash away though. Douglas is here to help him out, but Rika just ultied. Flash now down for Chayak on Yasuo.
Rika, a player that I feel like had a much worse EMEA Masters in spring. I remember being critical of his laning phases, but it just feels like he's so much more turned on this EMEA Masters.
His champ pool was bad, right? We were like, oh, this guy plays Orianna, what else can he do? I think we were very critical because, again, there are a lot of concerns to his playstyle, but hell, I can say the same thing about a lot of BDSA. Brox of this series, I mean, Skumon has not only shown how he's developed over the years, I should say. Even on this Maokai pick, he's showing more diversity than we know him for in Historics, which is the Nunu pick and a little bit more.
Well, this guy's the LFL MVP for a reason, and he's showing us today what he has to offer with a diverse champion pool, like you're saying. Now, Void Grob's up in 40 seconds. Douglas wants to sneak this dragon away, not realizing that it's actually warded by BDSA. We're all coming out of base with item spikes. This is a very, very scary position for Vitality.Bee to be in.
No flash on Douglas. Paris is very quick on the map. They can look for a pick here. Skumon does have the ultimate. He can cast from Fog of War.
Paris doesn't have his X marking the spot. Stand as well, no Magnet Storm.
That wind wall is doing a lot of work, the threat of it, to block that Maokai ultimate.
Chayak being cheeky, he looks for the engage and rather baits Rika into walking next to him. Bone Skewer, no connection, but Paris has just hit death from below. Stand also, level 6 for both supports as Nature's Grasp flies through. Bone Skewer looking for Stand, he crashes down, he buffers, but he won't get out. Stand has to flash away and there's no re-engage. A core tool down and BDSA with one ulti make their way to the dragon.
Nice chain CC from BDSA there. The Rel buffers the initial CC, but the follow-up chain comes through. The wind wall value was on there because they split up, so now it's going to convert into River Move, and they finally find their way into the dragon.
And BDSA are in the driving seat right now. If they play their cards right, they're going to get not only the Drake, but also the Void Grubs as well. And now have an opportunity to create a massive, massive lead for themselves. We're already seeing it here. Powers quickly rotated up towards the top side, setting up vision around the Grubs. Zajic has to be really careful because his flash is still on cooldown on the Yasuo.
Chayak. Yeah, you're right. Close to that threshold again. Remember that Paris can get resets in a fight too. We talked about the mobility there as Curtain Call on the bottom side. He knows he's in threat, and Yoppa needs a bit of help here, but I don't know if he's going to find it as Skumon looks at the twisted advance. It's a Bramble smash. He misses that, though. Flashes away. Now under turret. Kadui has no choice, but he's dead. A 1-for-1 BDSA mucking up the dive.
Yoppa with a pop-off play, trying to clear the wave, but MF blocks the ultimate to clear the wave. Still managed to find the pick under the tower with a ramping damage. 1v1's coming through in the mid lane.
Doesn't go anywhere. Douglas looks for the pick, but instead, you're right. You know, in that last play, Yoppa steps up, and the one guy with an EMEA Masters title in Kadui is taken down. A bit of gold evening for that bottom side that has been in the laning phase chilling the entire game.
And I think more than anything, that was a pretty important learning lesson for BDSA right there. They should just have moved up towards top side, gone for the crops, look for the objective, and then try to find something bigger later. But this is a mistake we League players often make. see champion, kill champion mentality instead of just patiently waiting for a bigger and better play. Now, I would still expect them to try to play aggressive, play fast with plates timeout in just 1 minute from now.
I will say, there is beauty in these compositions, and that is there is no front line outside of a rel, right? So your front line is your ability to outplay and win the fights. I'm worried for Vitality.Bee, because champions like Vayne, into all this AoE, you're going to need a QSS or something to be able to navigate it. There's so much damage. If he ever tumbles forward, that's instant pull trigger, just like this.
Another dive, another moment, the bullet time, no, is perfect! An X to mark the spot and a burial that with it might even take the voice. Douglas now at half HP will dodge away with a flash, but there's the follow-up. If it's not one tool, it's another. The LFL first seed ain't slowing down.
The crossmap play onto bot side, the misfortune and the Maokai combination from Skumon and Kadui looks amazing. It one-shots Yoppa, who had to expend his flash in the previous dive, and he has not been surviving these bot lane dives very well.
Incredible, incredible play from BDSA, who now continue to explode their gold lead even further. We're now going to be seeing them rotating towards top quickly. Bot tower is gone. Genex is going to recall and move bot to match whoever goes there, but for them, it's all about putting their foot in the gas pedal, trying to get this top tower as soon as possible. Could even go for the Herald if they wish, but they can really do whatever they want with these massive, massive advantages that they now have across the board.
No teleport available for Shayak in the bot lane, so he's gonna have to either recall and go to this Herald if he wants to contest, or commit bot lane. He's kind of in between, because this Rift Herald is gonna get taken, he's not gonna be able to help. So BDSA winning this Herald with no crossmap play available. It's just winning for BDSA.
But wait, Vitality.Bee do have something up their sleeve. Hex Flash going to be used on the Paris Shattering Strike and dead. Magnus Storm is no great condemn. Nucko has a freebie here. Another kill to the Vayne top, and Vitality.Bee ain't taking it lying down.
Nice play. The plays shadowing the Vayne pays off in the end. Sten managed to find the chain CC onto the pike. Now, what can this convert into? Because there are still numbers up top. I'm really worried about Vitality.Bee. They seem to be all out of sorts, because you can see Shayak on this Yasuo constantly unsure as to what to do. He's just walking around, not committing to hitting the tower because of the threat of numbers potentially ganking him. So there's no real play outside of a pick.
And right now, we're seeing BDSA respecting, knowing that Vitality could be looking for another pick.
Yep.
Powers coming out of base, and now he'll be more cautious, slowly get the control of the topside river, actually deciding to shift back down, realizing Drake is spawning, and wanting to continue to be able to play for that soul. Good rotation from them.
I mean, again, BDSA start with the Dragon game, 30 seconds till we get towards the next, and I'm looking at items here, gents, and I'm seeing an almost 2-item misfortune. I'm seeing the same with Rika, who got such an early game lead, and a Kennen with a Hextech Proto Belt with Flash available with level 11. Yes, he's got 2 exhausts to work with, but Vitality have to be on their toes for this next fight if they want to deny this Dragon stacking.
The AoE Wombacom is going to hit like a truck.
Oh, like that. A good pick on Paris again. Douglas comes in with Sten and sets it up. Trying for the last breath, and finally they stop breathing as Genex slices and dices with a bit of lightning to the ground. Douglas does it again, though, and burns through, and that's great for Vitality.Bee, but Skumon with a Nature's Grab.
But look at mid lane. They're buying so much time, BDSA are, and Misfortune is just hitting
and
mid
they
for
might
free.
even find a kill here, looking for Chopper. It's denied. Sten at least slowing them down, as Skumon can't get in range, but you're right with the Herald. BDSA again, the map is just their oyster.
And a charge onto tier 3 is unprecedented at this mid in the game. 16 minutes in, almost striking that tower, but again, BDSA secure the Dragon.
The LFL first seed can feel it. Gold is still at 4K, it's definitely not over. But we keep seeing these smart map movements, we keep seeing these plays around bot side, set up with Skumon, with Kadui, and of course, based on Paris. And it works for BDSA as they get more gold into the lead again.
So far, we've really only seen Vitality.Bee catching Paris. It's what's kept them in the game, but we need to see them finding ways to include their Vayne top, who still has a massive advantage. With that being said, great pick here. Good response from BDSA as well, instantly TPing in on the Kennen. Fantastic Kennen ult coming out of Genex here.
I think the exhaust comes down a little late from Stend. It doesn't quite cut off most of the Kennen ulti, which may have saved or bought a few more seconds, but this is always a losing play because you're against Rift Herald. Any kind of play that extends is going to be a terrible tower trade. Rika has a CC buffer.
Looking for the bait. You can see Paris as well with the Bone Skewer. Wants a little bit more These individual gold leads are giving BDSA more confidence as they continue moving top.
GenX has flash. He can make a huge play here with a massive ultimate. All the BDSA.
Again onto Douglas, but it's a counter punch, and GenX comes in, but he's not fighting too much. But the nature's grasp was beautiful. Skumon separates them apart as Paris threatens on the back end. Vitality.Bee were trying to get the pieces together, but BDS just make sure they never meet.
Great positioning here from Kadui as well. Always able to sit in the back, just continuing to pump out that damage. And I think Vitality.Bee was having the right idea, but the teamwork from BDSA was just one step ahead.
You have so many threats now to worry about. That Yone ult coming through, the flash cannon ult, we saw the potency of it. You have a lot of exhaust, but you got to land them on the right target as well. Another winning play, and it's turret after turret after turret.
So 2 Dragons, 5k gold lead. Baron's up in 1:30 to start threatening. Look at the replay here, because Broxer again, it feels like Vitality.Bee are getting some angles, but they just don't have the follow-through or the finish up.
I think they had the right idea here, wanting to fight with Vayne finally. But Jin was nowhere to be found, didn't even make it to the fight in time. We didn't have exhaust for the cannon ult. All these little things make such a big difference. And while the idea was there, while they seem to be learning from their mistakes, again, they got over eager. It's the one thing that's been haunting them, holding them back in this series.
Zen gonna get out. Rika's looking for a bit of engaged potential himself. He takes some damage as Douglas gets a stun. Skumon with the Nature's Grasp is behind as they TP to defend. Paris still has an angle here with death from below, up in 5 seconds.
Vitality.Bee, they're on a time limit here. You can see Kennen pushing in top lane. He could threaten that tier 2 tower unless someone recalls, but the threat of that fight from BDSA kind of playing with the emotions of Vitality.Bee a little bit here. Do they recall? Do you not recall? Looks like they're gonna go into defend top.
Well, they realize they have no choice at this point. BDSA are quickly pushing mid, pushing top. There's going to be TP advantage for them as well. Kennen TP up in a moment. Yone already has TP as well. And that is going to make it very easy for them to continue playing the map and secure more tier 2s for themselves. Now, I just want to see them closing out this game cleanly. You have 5,000 gold. You have 2 TPs available. It's very simple and easy for you to just push out one side, shift down towards mid, and create a number advantage on the other.
On the flip side, Vitality.Bee, your biggest wildcard potential in the top lane, the Vayne. I feel like cards are on the table now. You know Vitality.Bee, they just keep shadowing the Vayne over and over and over again. 2 items completed, most solo kills and most solo deaths. He is the biggest wildcard for Vitality.Bee to potentially carry a fight, and it's all on him. The gold is all on him as well.
Vitality.Bee knows that the only way of contesting this vision is to go directly into the mid lane. Jungle is a danger zone. BDSA are lingering around, hoping somebody's going to face check, but Vitality.Bee have learned from their mistakes, and they're entering with caution this time around, knowing that one way or the other, they have to sneak some vision onto the Baron soon.
But how hard is it when Paris has himself an Umbral Glaive and he can one-shot wards? He clears out in an instant. Sen puts that down, but there's a small cooldown as he goes so deep to do it. Nature's Grasp will follow him and fly. The Cats lock him into the ground as Paris looks for the ulti. A Magnet Storm won't save his life. Paris does the job, and BDSA have numbers all of a sudden.
Just like you were saying, the Umbral Glaive is such a pain point, but so are the Maokai saplings. If you're stand, you're trying to contest vision, you just can't walk through.
And right now, Douglas has no flash available, so Vitality.Bee are going to have to force their way into the pit. Brute force a fight, get the Strand into range if they are to contest, but the cannon is looking for the light.
It's game ending, it's series ending, it's EMEA Masters trophy lifting, defining. GenX on a ward, though they'll see him as Vitality.Bee need to save their series, but they can't. Rika misses as GenX gets sent back, but still gets the stun. Never mind, as Stead comes in off the backline. BDSA might be too strong. Trying, but Kadui is blasting them apart. A triple kill over to the 80 carry, 7-1 and 4, and BDSA may have just defined that line in the sand.
And in a best case scenario fight for Vitality.Bee, BDSA still come out on top. You have the condemn into the cannon. It doesn't matter. BDSA win, and now they're going to secure a dragon.
That was a big moment for the series, a moment where most likely champions were created. And let's see it once again here on our screen. Xanax looking for the flank, eventually gets spotted. Vitality.Bee playing with hesitation, knowing they're outnumbered, knowing that Xanax is looking for them, and it's so difficult. In hindsight, they definitely should just have given up the objective. They have no business being here, but the desperation ends up costing them big time.
And it's just so hard without Flash on Douglas there to walk in an ultimate, because as the brand, you want to walk forward and ult in that Baron pit with a shredded magic resist. They just can't make it work.
Have you noticed every fight we've seen as well, this Misfortune gets so much uptime, gets so much separation. Yep. You know, Vitality must be sitting with anxiety right now because they can't get the perfect fight. And this feels like a remembrance back to Game 1, where Game 1 we talked about Vitality kind of getting forced into these bad situations. While Baron was a must there, BDSA picked the fight that they wanted.
Kedui, a man who has been an EMEA Masters 8 times, is sitting on a 5,000 gold lead in the AD carry position on potentially the defining game.
Boy.
As I hype him up, the boy gets caught. We still have a series now.
Ladies and gentlemen, all you need is Broxter to talk about your player. And you might get some magic done, but Genax's damage stops me there. Knucker with a condemn away while Stender's about to die. Rika teleports into the backline and gets his ulti down to get the kill. He's isolated as Vitality. Look for the one kill out of this fight that they can follow up with, but Rika's not dead. X is marking the spot, and Paris, the pirate, that will look for more. Vitality are going to die for a third, and another's going to drop. Paris cleans it up, and BDSA are rolling their roll to freedom.
A huge cleanup from Paris here. BDSA put on a clinic in this team fight. You see the Vayne without a QSS, without a cleanse. You just cannot play versus the point and click of the Maokai W, and it's going to open up the tier 2 for BDSA.
Keep in mind, they won that fight without the most important member, without the Misfortune. The confidence to even engage. Absolutely incredible stuff, and we're gonna see it right here. Kedui finds a ping ward, Sten instantly pulls the trigger. Yoppa follows with the root. He doesn't get to play League of Legends at all, but then BDSA lingering around the corner still finds an opening.
Yeah, Sten gets chain seeded a little bit there, but Naku, where are you going? Right? The TP is coming through for the flank as well, but Naku is isolated and he can't play. The chain seed from the W comes through, and then watch this Q3 from Rika. It is so clean and lands onto 3 people getting out to safety as well.
Beautiful, beautiful fighting all around. In this fight, we're seeing why BDSA have so massive priority on the Yone. Incredible, incredible team fight.
And it's the individual pick that has come through. That has come through for this 4th game from Paris as well. Is now starting to pop off. You see, ain't the most damage, but he gets a reset and picks up a triple in the last engage. It's an 11k gold lead. I'm not sure what I said before. They're finding their way to freedom, was my meaning, because their freedom towards that trophy, their freedom away from the pressure from BDSA, who in spring fell short to Besiktas in a Game 5, are now looking to go against their adversaries in Vitality.Bee and get it finally across the finish line.
And now Vitality.Bee have their backs against the wall for real. 10,000 gold down. Drake spawning in 1 minute and 30 seconds, which would be an infernal soul for BDSA. Baron in 1 minute and 50.
Oh my god, how do they deal with this? Rika dives in, Chaya gets an ulti, but he's denied. A curtain call for who you ask, as BDSA with 5 up in this top lane. They just cannot be stopped.
Absolutely incredible stuff from BDSA here. This team that's been dominating in the LFL, dominating in the EMEA, are now so close to taking the trophy.
Season of first, isn't it? First LFL title, leads into first EMEA Masters trophy. And here in Munich, I mean, it's been such a good series, it's been such a good individually skilled series, but in this final game, we're once again seeing that difference for some of these star carries.
And the problem is it's just so easy for BDSA, right? They just have to press R. There's a reason you do not give Maokai. There's a reason he's the best jungler on the current patch. You just press your Rs, MF layering over a Maokai, the same with the Kennen and the Yone. It's so simple to play. And Vitality.Bee, they have to resort to these crazy flanks, these picks.
Douglas, help him.
No flash available on the brand.
I know a Dagda who'd be screaming here as well, but a Douglas, we're not going to get to hear it firsthand. Kedui picks it up with ease. It is going from bad to worse as BDSA, I think Infernal is calling their name.
Very unfortunate moment to die. Infernal Soul coming up in just a moment. If they pull the trigger quickly, they could even take Baron before Brand is back on the map as well.
The waves are terrible. There's no room for a cross map. You can see Vayne up top side, nowhere near that tier 2 tower. They can't contest this dragon because of the death from Brand. They're just gonna have to set up some jungle camps on their own side. And by time, Elder is the last source of hope for Vitality.Bee.
Yoppa can't do anything. Paris is in his face. Elder, you're right, would be a massive flip if they could do it. But here's Rika again, misses Yoppa with a good sidestep. He flashes out, but Rika gets what he wanted for pretty much nothing. Yoppa now flashless.
No flash, you can't contest this Baron if you want to. He can walk up, but there's a flash Genax or a flash Rika onto his head once again if he walks up in range.
A miracle still, magic to happen. Nature's grasp.
Deadless!
He finds the steal, but on the back end, can they win the fight? Genax goes into a circle and puts the fork in the plug. They're electrocuted, they're battered, they're torn. They get a magic steal, but it's all for nothing.
You see, this organization has a curse. BDSA do not care.
Incredible stuff from BDSA this entire series. We got hyped for moments. Great steal from Douglas, but it just doesn't matter.
The expectations were met and the domination was set. Where the father failed, the son will not. The rising stars of the ERLs are BDS Academy, the first seed of the LFL, with their first championship of the EMEA Masters. Take the summer trophy and let history remember your names.
These guys have been so dominant from summer split till this point on. 17-1 in the regular season in the LFL. LFL champions, now EMEA Masters champions as well. What more could you want?
It's gonna feel good in such a packed arena. I mean, what an insane set of games.
Oh yeah.
The skill ceiling on both of these teams, I feel like in lots of these scenarios, both teams were winners in terms of how they played these fights. The micro was beautiful to watch.
Both these teams set expectations upcoming in the ERLs, and you know, I was saying coming into this that quarterfinals, semifinals, it felt like the performance wasn't there. BDSA walked over Heretics and Vitality. It was a bit back and forth with Team Geo, but this finals delivered. And for a culmination of ERLs, a culmination of EMEA finals, it's insane that BDS went through the hurdle. That was Vitality.Bee, your EMEA Masters Summer Champion. So well deserved. The best of the best upcoming. They wanted it now. They rose up and they took it.
Every single player took their turn at carrying in every single game. Not a single player you can say is not deserved. What a showing.
Individual star talent. And this team that so many expected at the start of the year, after falling short in spring, wouldn't be able to get as far as they did. Well, they went further. You've heard the KC fan clubs that ride and love the region, but BDSA took it to them. And this first seed, as I said, expectations were met here with such a beautiful showing.
And keep in mind, there's been so much on the line for all these players. Of course, securing this trophy is absolutely massive for each and every one of them in their careers. But they have cemented themselves as some of the best players in Europe outside of the LEC.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of promotions lined up in the nearby future.
With so many games of individual performances that I talked about, I think everyone had a performance that is like LEC worthy, right? And obviously we're coming off the hype of a grand final in a stadium that sometimes subverts expectations. But, you know, I've got two pro players with me, two guys that you know, you're both not washed, I know. But you have this expectation and you know the bar. And so if you're telling me that this was quality, this is BDS who all five players deserve a shot, I believe you.
It's just the eye test. You see this level of micro in the LEC as well. I think so many players, I think back to specific performances as well. 12-0 on the Viega for Skumon, that was mind-blowing.
Yeah. MVP is going to be hard.
Yeah, it is.
MVP is really hard for that series.
That's going to be a tough one indeed. Also worth, just for a moment, giving praise to Vitality.Bee. A lot of analysts were expecting them to get 3-0'd coming into the series, but they showed up time and time again. Most of these games were incredibly close, incredibly competitive, and we really couldn't have hoped for a final much greater than this one.
We came in today with a setting of a 3-0, 3-1. Now, 3-1 was hit, but not in this way. Not in this way at all. France's #1 seed It's incredible. It's just incredible to see this level of play on a main stage when, for a lot of these guys, no titles, right?
Yep.
No titles picked up. A first for many.
1 trophy between 10 of the players on the stage. 0 trophies for 9 of them, and that's going to change. Take a bow.
An absolute pleasure. Of course, we give commendation on the other side. Brock's already said it. But man, they were tested. Not as easy as anything. And while there were a lot of diffs, while there were a lot of hard-fought efforts within individual players, it's just crazy that it came down to that. Again, my thought is, like, imagine picking an MVP for this. Good luck. Not our job. Wait, actually might be.
Good luck, Twitter, voting for that. I feel like that's going to be very even.
Oh, yeah.
Who you got? I think it's rough. Because Kadui had a great MF performance. You had the Viego from Skumon. Paris.
Oh, Paris had some rough games, but still.
Rico did really well, consistently, I feel like. Especially in that last performance on the Yone, I feel like his laning phase was very, very good. 2-0 from the very start.
Brock didn't say anything. He's like, you know what? I ain't touching that. I ain't touching that.
Well, I think this is the perfect position to be in, where you have a team of 5 players that really came together, where everybody obviously deserves to be standing, lifting the trophy. Great coaching staff behind them, of course.
True.
Wow, what a series.
I mean, insane. Again, I feel like my favorite, Game 2 from Vitality was a real big turnabout. Game 3 was a lot of fun. It was a very close game. And there was, a lot of that individual effort. And I sound like a broken record, but there were like small plays within that third game that defined the series, that defined for BDSA. Yeah, no MVP from me. I think I've got to vote. But I'm not sure. Skumon was insane.
Yeah.
Genax had great laning phases. Like, imagine having to lane
honor them all
versus that Vayne top.
Riot's bringing back multiple honors. I think.
Bring it back.
Honor them all.
Yeah.
I think they were all great. I think this the micro level, I keep saying it, the macro in general, denying the cross maps, I think they were great. Scouting what plays Vitality.Bee wanted to make consistently. It was a team effort.
True. And especially when, again, like we talked about, I think in EMEA Masters, we talked about a lot about the downfall of BDSA and what could happen. We didn't really see any of that today. Like, what was the worst thing we got from BDSA today?
Well, you've got to keep in mind, for these guys, they've kind of been on top of the mountain the entire time. All the other teams have tried to climb up and reach them, but no matter who approached them, they just didn't give them a chance. No briefing room
allowed. Such a good pro play. Like, there's no negatives whatsoever. That the whole series missed the positive, right? I don't know what you are. You're positive as well, sort
I was relatively positive. I thought the series was great.
It was. Again, we didn't expect it. We are waiting for the interview on stage that we'll be getting towards as soon as possible. And it's just been crazy as a year. Like, EMEA Masters Spring to now, I thought the quality dropped. Remember, you know and I were doing it, and EMEA Masters Spring, you're watching like so many close back and forth series. Eintracht Spandau won it out. They didn't make it through this time. This road consisted of a new format. We talked about it at the start of day. And the new format led way to more BO5s. That best of 16 stage, that quarterfinal stage was huge. As you can see on stage, finally that's enough from us yapping. It's been an absolute pleasure. Law is now standing by. Not yet, she's not standing.
Not yet?
I've been told.
Was it too early?
No, look. Oh, the players aren't mic'd up enough.
Technical.
Well, yeah, we'll wait for it. And so instead, we get to sit here and think about League of Legends a little bit more. Yo, we need to get rid of what champion we need to get rid of.
Maokai. It has been too dominant for too long. This champion has had a 60+% win rate in competitive for about 2.5 years. I hate this champion.
Okay, good note to end on. Finally, some negativity.
Perfect.
We are already on stage
agree.
for the interviews. Thanks, gents, and we'll hand it over to Law.
Thank you so much, guys. Munich, one more time, please, for you. 2024 Summer EMEA Masters Champions, BDS Academy. You guys have worked so hard all year for this. Ricker, I'm going to come to you first because we had an interview ahead of the game. I could feel a bit of nerves coming into this stage, coming in front of the audience, playing in this arena. Now that you lifted the trophy, how do you feel?
I feel amazing. Yes, of course, there's a lot of nervousness going on. Even talking right now, I feel like I'm a bit nervous in front of all those people.
They're only here for you and cheer for you. There you go.
Yeah, and when it comes to in-game, I do believe I was pretty calm in-game. Of course, there's a bit of heat of the moment, and you get a bit dragged along with your teammates and everything, but overall, I think I kept a cool head, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
And of course, that we won as well just makes it all a bit better.
And you brought it till the end to lift this trophy in the end. Skumon, félicitations.
Merci.
Congratulations
Thank you.
on becoming the champion. What was the first thought that crossed your mind when you lifted that trophy before taking a tour in the arena? What did you feel?
I mean, like, I'm just really grateful and proud of everything we have achieved. Like, we've been like through so much stuff with this team, a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and like coming here and finally winning the trophy is like the best thing that could happen to me. And yeah, I'm just really happy.
It is crazy how you guys came together actually this year, and how strong you've become within the LFL, how strong and dominant you became throughout the EU Masters run. What do you attribute this success to? What made you so strong this run, would you say, Ricker?
I would say our openness to discussion, and I think our coaches have been doing a really good job, especially Arvind. I don't think we have easy personalities, but he's like the guy to make it work for everyone, so big shout out to him, but also to Mauro. It's like one guy is there for the personalities and the other one is there for in-game stuff, always making sure we keep up with the basics, and yeah, with this combination it was quite easy. And of course the individual talent that our young boys here, Skumon and Paus, are bringing in. Yeah.
You were saying it, Skumon, you went through ups and downs. You've seen it all, from a middle of the pack team in the LFL last year to finally lifting your first trophy in the LFL and the EMEA Masters trophy as well. How do you reflect on the achievements you had over the past 2 years, and especially this one?
Sorry, can you repeat? I didn't understand.
How do you reflect on the achievements you had this year and the progress you've made as a player?
Yeah, I mean, like, as Steven said, I'm in the Ricker. I want to thank my coaches and like all the BDS staff who took me in this team and trusted me. And yeah, like, I'm really proud of how everything I've did, to be honest. And yeah, like, I think thanks to them, I learned a lot in this team, like leadership and everything. And I think we all of us trust each other, and it helps a lot.
Super excited to see what's ahead of you guys in the future. But before that, we're going to hear from the coaching staff in just a moment, actually. Ricker, I want to give you the final thoughts here. This is a German crowd. You got to play in front of your home crowd. Is there anything you want to share with the audience tonight?
Ja, vielen Dank, Jungs, dass ihr alle dabei seid. Ich danke. Sehr, sehr cool, so viel Unterstützung hier zu bekommen. Und ich will auch insbesondere meiner Familie, meinen beiden Bros, Abel, Lukas, danken und natürlich meiner Freundin Alicia. Muss man auch mal sagen, alle geben sich Mühe, um hier dabei zu sein, um mich zu unterstützen.
Thank you so much to all of us who came here tonight to support us. Thank you to my friends, thank you to my family as well. Guys, thank you so much for this interview. Congratulations once again on being the EMEA Masters 2024 Summer Champions. And Ginny, over to you on stage with the rest of the team.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you, everyone here in Munich. We're back on the stage and we enjoyed with the coaching staff. Thank you, Arvinder, for joining Paris, as well as Gen X. I just want to say congratulations to every single one. I know you're not a coach, you're a player. Don't worry about that. So let's talk about the emotions that you guys have right now, because looking in front of you, there is a sea of people who are here to support you. They've been supporting you throughout the entirety of this best of 5. What was the experience like, stepping on stage and hearing everybody cheer?
I mean, it was really amazing to play in this arena, like the feeling of being surrounded by fans supporting you. And every time I walked on stage, I could really feel the energy from everyone supporting me. And yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Paris?
Yeah, it was insane feeling, to be honest. Winning the trophy with this team feels really good. And I believe everyone deserves in our team, our coach staff as well. We worked really hard and we got what we deserved.
The coaching staff, definitely something to talk about here as well, because when we're looking at BDS, you know, you guys had an incredible summer split, first seed from the LFL. You're then coming through in EMEA Master Finals. You're winning it 3-1 in this best of 5 series. What has the journey been like for you to prepare the team for this moment?
I mean, I said it like to the guys today as well. Before we went on stage, we had a very crazy year. Like we played so many games. We started so early. Like our level was. It's also why our level was so high from the start. But we went through a lot. Like we also had a really good spring. Like we went 15-3 in spring, and then we lost finals. Then we got reverse swept in the EMEA semis. So yeah, it just feels really good that we showed everybody that like the spring split was not what was not like our final form.
The summer split is, and with that you take the trophy home. Also want to touch upon the fact that when we're looking at BDS as an organization, whether it's you guys or whether it's different roster in different games, there always seems to be a sense of community. There is some really fun content that you guys did for those winning moments in the LFL. What was it like to be part of that as a player?
I mean, BDS is an amazing organization where you really feel like home. And yeah, I think throughout this whole year, the losses, the wins, everything, we stuck together. I think that's the most important part that also brought us to this trophy here today, is that no matter what, we didn't give up, we didn't get too mad at each other. We always kept working, and BDS gave us the perfect foundation for that. So yeah.
How would you do it as a player to not get tilted or a little angry at each other when things maybe don't go your way? How do you stay as a brotherhood?
Like it was an insane feeling, getting the support from BDS as well. Their stuff was really good. They keep supporting us, and we feel it really good. And yeah, I'm really happy to be in BDS.
Well,
I didn't really get the information. I can't really hear it.
That is all good. It all paid off, and still your answer was incredible. But we are ready for the MVP reveal with Lore, so do let us know. Guys, who do you think will be the MVP? I guess we'll find out, Lore. Let us know.
Rudy.
1D.
I want it now, and I ain't never gonna back down. I want it now, and I ain't never gonna back down. I want it now, and I ain't never gonna back down. I want it now, and I ain't never gonna back down. I am no regular citizen. Nope. Do you understand what you're witnessing? You cannot tell what the difference is. I want it all, and I'm winning it. I do not care about opinions. Time to make a few decisions, so I can take a position. I'ma go get it, I'm punching and kicking. I keep on moving, they off of me. Just do it and stop, but I'm talking G. I'm not expressing no modesty. I can't see nobody stopping me. If there's a problem, I gotta solve it. Straight to the top, I can't see myself falling. I gotta grab it, there's no time for stalling. Number one son and don't have other options. Now I'm fired up. I'm sorry, brother, your time's up. I see the top and I climb up. I came from the ashes, I rise up.
MVP, AD Carry, Kettering! So one trophy was not enough, Kettering. Apparently you got the MVP as well. Looking at the best place for these finals, thinking about your year, thinking about your achievements, how proud are you to get this one right now?
Just very proud. Proud of everything. Proud of the journey that has been from day one, practicing with this team, and it all paid off.
It was a brotherhood, as Jenax said it on stage. I feel like you all connected together at the right moment, at the perfect moment. What was your role in making this team shine?
I'm going to be honest, at the start on this team, I kind of had to find a new role for myself, because before in other teams, I felt like I was always the carry, and I was always being played around. And in this team, we have too many skilled individuals, too many skilled players, so that for me, it was kind of hard to get the resources that I want, get the time spent around me that I want. And at the start, I had to adapt. But now in the end, I think everything works so perfectly, so smooth that, yeah, I just found my role.
Where do you see the biggest progress for you maybe throughout the year, the biggest achievements you had, and what makes you a standout AD carry today?
I mean, I think I know what I need to do in every sequence of the game. I think I played the team fights good. I played the early laning phase good, and I think I also just this series communicated very good. So yeah, I think this was the standout points.
You got 1 trophy in summer, 1 trophy in EMEA Master Summer, 1 MVP trophy, your dad, to witness all of it with you, Munich to cheer for you as well. How do you feel right now, KDB?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, everyone. It feels surreal right now.
I can expect that with so much success within your lineup, I don't know what awaits you guys, but maybe it was the last dance of this BDS Academy roster, wishing you the best, of course, in the next year. What are your expectations for next year, KDB?
Yeah, like every year, teams split up, and I think we all 5 have showed really good gameplay throughout the whole year, and there's probably been some LEC teams looking at us this whole year, and yeah, this was probably our last game together, and I just hope that for next year, we will all maybe actually end up in an LEC team, maybe not together, but play against each other next year. That would just be my dream.
Too many more games, if not together, against each other. Munich, one last time for KDB, please. Congratulations once again. I'm going to let you join your team on stage. And Ginny, over to you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laure. And thank you once again, Munich, for being here and sticking around one last time. BDS Academy, I want to talk to you guys individually and hear your emotions coming into this experience, but also how you're feeling right now. So I'll start with you, Gen X, and then we can hear from everyone individually.
How I'm feeling right now?
And your emotions coming into this.
Yeah, my emotions coming into this, I think I was very confident that we would take it home today. I also expected us to do it in 4 games. I know that even when we lose, we adapt really well, better than our opponents did during the whole tournament. So yeah, I was very confident, and it feels really nice to achieve what we honestly started working for in December last year.
I feel good. I think we did a good series with the team. I just had one disgusting game, to be honest. I'm a bit embarrassed by the draft performance, but other than that, I'm proud with my team. Everyone played really good, and my AD carry is kinda good. Yeah,
kinda good.
Kinda good.
Yeah, I think for me this was a lot about like redemption in a way as well. Like with the 3 Germans here, I go kind of way back. Like with Tim and with KDB and Rika, I already lost in EMEA semi-final in 21. We lost another one this spring split where I felt like drafts were really bad and like just preparation was really bad. So it was a lot about doing it like for the group, because I felt like it was kind of owed to them. And we just like, yeah, I think everybody here on this stage has been around in ERLs and some in LEC for so long, and this title was missing. So yeah, now the collection is kind of complete for most of them.
Absolutely, you're adding another one to the cabinet. Thank you as well. And I know you guys don't have microphones, so I won't make it awkward unless you really want to. Okay, you're just like, no, you're good to go. Well, once again, if you guys are okay with it, maybe a final bow for the people who have stuck around, the real fans that are here to hear from you guys. Can we hear it one more time for BDS Academy?
3, 2, 1. It's just so random.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today, and thank you those at home for tuning in as well. Remember, tomorrow, the LEC semifinals, G2 going up against MDK. There is an expo as well. Make sure that you guys check it out. But once again, congratulations to you guys. Enjoy your trophy, enjoy this victory. You'll be at the expo tomorrow as well for a meet and greet for those of you who want to go say hi. Take care of yourselves, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, your fans, bro.
Skewmon now looking for another jumper, has no choice, but he can't get the kill, out of range.
Look at Reichton, by the way. Reichton. I can flash out, I will... Yeah, get the center, I'm moving, we fight, Guys, I'm here, outside, cheers.
They've taken a bit from the edge of this fight, but the equalizer says no. Janak flies in, and this guy knows he's better.
I have flash.
No flash Talia.
I can't fight.
No flash, look.
Nice.
The disengage is there, but here comes a singing queen. Oopsie. He fakes it back onto Skumond. Blast Cone is there. The smite slows him down, but the all out gets him out of harm's way. But the wild growth is back up and available. And against the wall, Genax says enough.
Yeah, mid. My bot.
Continue as Kadui flashes over the wall. Nucko teleported in, but a blast code interrupted. Nucko again.
Okay, I'm dead. What?
Oh, I started last matter. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Chill. I can't. Kill 6 for spell. I can't go in.
We were talking about it, and it's already hit 6 kills in.
First second. No flash. Nice. Yeah, you go. Oh, big good. Go. Behind Brandon. Place on, bro.
Yeah! They wanted it now. They rose up and they took it. BDS, your EMEA Masters Summer Champion.